Total Screen proudly presents their official podcast, On Screen, with your hosts, Tyson Gifford and William Rohrig.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to On Screen, the official podcast of the Total Screen. My name is Tyson.
My name is Will.
And today we are going to be talking about Sinners, the movie from Ryan Coogler, who did Black Panther and the Creed movies. And this is kind of his big movie after the Marvel movie stuff that kind of really is putting his name out there as a more serious director now.
He's doing his own original, IP instead of, studio-owned IP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's
this is
his
a big deal
movie, yeah. We also have our On the Horizon segment where we talk about what's coming up in the next week, and we have some news stories and trailers to go over in On Beat. Let's get started with On the Horizon.
On the Horizon.
On the Horizon, as I mentioned, is where we talk about what's coming up in the next week or so, and we're going to start things off with Robot Chicken Self-Discovery Special, which is coming on Sunday, July 20th to Adult Swim, and then the next day on HBO Max. I had no idea this existed till I was looking at what was coming up in the next week. But yeah, I guess there's more Robot Chicken stuff coming. A Robot Chicken Special. Didn't know they were still doing that.
Yeah, Robot Chicken is still going.
Then on Wednesday, July 23rd, South Park returns to Comedy Central. Apparently, there's a litigation going on. This was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I think. It got delayed, and now there's Matt and Trey have hired lawyers to...
Yeah, there's a big article on one of the trades ran a big article the other day about it, where it's just this whole dispute where it's a contract dispute. Apparently, Paramount was going to just approve the contract, but now they're in this merger with Skydance, and Skydance is coming in, and Skydance doesn't want to approve the contract as is. They're kind of mucking in things. Skydance is asserting that they have authority to approve all contracts. Matt and Trey are arguing that they don't because the merger isn't complete, that they don't have the authority to approve or deny contracts that Skydance claims they do. So, yeah, it's a mess.
There's also a whole thing with, Warner with HBO Max and some contract that was dealing with that, and then Paramount not wanting that to be, and that was an older conflict that was, a legal issue, and now it's, coming back up into the fray as well. There's, all sorts of shit going on, but, so, apparently, South Park will be returning on Wednesday, July 23rd on Comedy Central. We'll have to see if that actually happens or not. Super Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV is coming on Thursday, July 24th. This is just Super Mario Party Jamboree, but up-res, better frame rate, and additional content specifically designed for the feature set of the Nintendo Switch 2. But that's coming on Thursday, July 24th to the Switch 2. Wuchang Fallen Feathers is coming on Thursday, July 24th to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. No Sleep for Kaname Date from AI the Somnium Files is coming on Friday, July 25th to PC, Switch, and Switch 2. I don't know if the Switch 2 is an addition or what that is, but it's listed for both of them. Happy Gilmore 2 is coming on Friday, July 25th to Netflix. And The Fantastic Four First Steps is coming on Friday, July 25th to theater. So 2 huge movies opening up on Friday. Which one are you excited for? Happy Gilmore 2, right?
Obviously. So, that's my favorite movie. I'm excited for the Fantastic Four, obviously.
Yeah. So on that list of stuff coming up, the only things that are really interesting me are South Park and Fantastic Four, I think.
Mm-hmm.
A few others I might check out, but
Wuchang Fallen Feathers looks good, looks fun. I'd like to check that out.
And, I never played Jamboree, but Mario Party's fun.
It's Mario Party. It's Mario Party. You either dig it or you don't. I don't have strong feelings towards Mario Party, so I don't really care.
Yeah, but that is it for our On the Horizon segment, and now we're moving on to On Beat.
On Beat.
On Beat is our news segment, and the first news story we got is that Aaron Taylor-Johnson has been cast in Robert Eggers' upcoming Werwulf, and Lily Rose-Depp, who is also in Nosferatu with Aaron Taylor-Johnson, is in talks to star as well.
This is becoming a Nosferatu, reunion.
Yep.
Which,
no, you just need Nicholas Hoult. We need Bill Skarsgård.
If I recall correctly, Nosferatu was Aaron Taylor Johnson and Lily Rose Depp's both their first film with Eggers.
Yeah,
right?
that seems to be the case. I'm not sure on Aaron Taylor Johnson. I know for Lily Rose Depp, Nosferatu was her first with him.
Yeah, I try to look at it. I can't find Aaron Taylor Johnson credited for anything but Nosferatu.
That seems to be, yeah. I think there's going to be other Eggers regulars in there. I'm pretty sure Willem Dafoe is going to show up.
100% going to show up. Unless he just can't do it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
He'll be there.
Yeah. Plus, Galactus himself. Ralph Ineson. Who's been in, I think he might have been in every single Eggers movie. He might not be in The Lighthouse. That's the only one that he might not be in. But he was in The Witch. I know he was in Northman, Nosferatu. So, yeah, I'm sure there's going to be other regulars in there. Maybe Anna Taylor-Joy, she's another common.
It's possible. It's a possibility.
Yeah. She was supposed to be in Nosferatu. That's who Lily Rose Depp ended up replacing because of scheduling conflicts.
But it's interesting because, specifically those two returning means that Robert Eggers enjoyed working with them and they enjoyed working with Robert Eggers, obviously. So they get to become part of his, ongoing troupe, the cast of actors.
Yeah, you have that with directors. I mean, it's Quentin Tarantino has, Samuel L. Jackson. That's so many things he does, And,
so many Tarantino films, yeah.
Yeah, Brad Pitt now has been in a bunch
Brad
of them.
Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio is a Tarantino regular at this point.
So you get those kind of moments like that, or Martin Scorsese was probably the first really notable one when it came to that, is because Scorsese had, De Niro.
De Niro.
Yeah.
And Leonardo DiCaprio again.
Yeah, but in the early days, it was De Niro.
It was De Niro.
And Pesci.
And Pesci, yep. And, those guys,
Yeah, those good fellas.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, so Eggers has his own, little troupe of actors, and he's, building it up as we speak. Our next piece of news is Superman's box office success. So, Superman did well at the box office, no surprise to anybody except for the Snyder fanboys.
Yeah, except for the haters.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of surprised, because, it's interesting, because this could have gone either way, to be honest, because sometimes a movie can, look amazing, it could be amazing, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't resonate. It's not only, bad movies that fail, that's not the axiom. A bad movie is more likely to fail because it's bad, but, good movies sometimes too.
It's a very good movie from a very good and well-respected director with a very strong cast that completely flopped at the box office, and yet nobody realizes that it flopped at the box office. They all think it was a success for some reason. Fight Club.
Yeah, it's hilarious because people remember it as a success because I think most people, myself included, remember watching it when it came out on video, right?
Yeah, well, it was one of the early, really good DVD releases.
Yes.
There were, when DVDs first came out, it was just a movie and some special features, and it was just shit, And then, The Matrix went, hog wild with all sorts of hidden Easter eggs and stuff, and then Fight Club was probably the next movie after The Matrix as far as, a really top-notch DVD release.
They sold DVD initially partially on, not just, the enhanced video quality, but they also sold it on, because the storage medium is so much larger than a VHS, we're gonna be able to jam in all these extra features, and hardly anybody did anything with that, until The Matrix.
They did, but a lot of times it was boring, because, even before DVD, Laserdisc was doing things like director commentary tracks and stuff, but none of them were particularly that interesting. The tracks might have been interesting, but, the presentation of the disc wasn't really all that interesting. The Matrix was, a huge deal for, changing that, and then Fight Club was, the next one that kind of did that, that was, really, you need to own this on DVD kind of thing,
So there's that. There's also the fact, Superman is tricky as an IP just because it is a globally known IP, but it's not a super popular IP because a lot of people you talk to, they have this feeling of
It is super popular, but not for movies. It's probably the best-selling
because,
comic book-related T-shirt.
Well, I mean, it's because like a lot of people have this image of Superman. Superman's boring.
Yeah,
he's not
He's a Boy Scout.
He's a Boy Scout, and he's invincible, and that's not interesting. Superman films have always had to like overcome that.
Yeah,
and
I mean the original did really well. It's still regarded as one of the best. Was hugely successful.
They've all like came out to like varying levels of success. Yeah, you had the original Richard Donner, which was really successful in the late 70s.
And still beloved and well thought of.
And he had Superman Returns with Brandon Routh that didn't do like so hot at the box office.
Did you ever watch that? That was so bad.
It was. It was not great.
It was just trying to be a sequel to the Donner.
Yeah, it was just trying to be it was trying to be the Donner Superman movie instead of like having its own identity. And I think that killed it. Man of Steel did pretty well. It wasn't.
I liked Man of Steel. There's definitely some issues with it, but
we're just talking about
they ruined that later.
So what's interesting to me about this is Superman has never been a box office draw like Batman has been.
Oh yeah,
right,
for sure.
Yeah, like Batman does insane numbers whenever like a Batman movie comes out, and Superman has not been able to like match that. And you're coming into now a superhero film environment where there's like a level of fatigue. The studios have thrown out so much stuff, and especially like Warner Bros. And DC just came off of a string of high profile flops. You had Black Adam, you had The Flash.
Oh, even Marvel's not been doing too great recently.
Yeah, Marvel hasn't been doing too great either, but like DC especially, you had, Black Adam, you had The Flash, you had Aquaman. So you had to wonder, like, regardless of how good this movie is there an appetite for another big tentpole superhero film from DC, especially like one that's not like centered around Batman.
Yeah.
So that was the question going into this. And I think like James Gunn proved that that quality will win out. If you make a good film, if you market it correctly, people will come. And I think that's
I can't wait till you get to see this because it's.
I can't wait till I get to see it.
It'll be fun to discuss.
Yes.
But yeah, like I think there's a lot going on here. I mean, we're not talking about the movie itself because that's not the segment. We're just talking about the box office. But it's going to be fun to talk about. But the numbers are that this made, and this isn't for the weekend. This is like as of Monday, basically, which is the most recent data that's available on like Box Office Mojo for the movie. As of Monday, it's made $137,923,363 domestically. Globally, It's made $232,923,363 globally as of Monday again. Budget-wise, this movie's total budget, that means like the film's budget itself, but also the marketing, was $350 million.
Yeah, so
it's $225 for the budget of the movie, $125 for marketing, $350. It's made $232, almost $233 million. So it's well on its way
close.
Yeah,
back. Yeah, like it's
been a week. It's been a weekend.
Yeah, it's been 1 weekend. Yeah, it's a success. I saw like Variety put an article about there. They talked to like some analyst who was like saying, "Oh well, the foreign box office is weaker than expected. That's not a good sign for a movie that's supposed to revive a franchise. You want a bigger punch." It's like you're just being
I think there's still
unnecessarily...
some of the overseas markets still haven't premiered it yet too. So
yeah, I think so. I see some people say, like, it might also be by association. Superman is seen as a predominantly, like, American-leaning superhero. America, for obvious reasons, is not really popular in foreign countries at the moment, unfortunately. So, like, that could have an effect.
Yeah, I'm not too terribly concerned with that because these numbers, again, are for, like, 4 days.
Yeah, these numbers are, exactly. I think... For all practical purposes, I think Warner Brothers is happy. I think DC is happy. I think James Gunn and Peter Safran are happy. I think David Zaslav is happy. They just greenlit...
The one piece of bad news in this.
Well, you want him to be happy about this. That's good news.
Yeah.
Variety also reported that they just like greenlit the Wonder Woman movie. They're fast tracking that in response to this. So This is the start of like a new DC franchise. This is like trying to reboot or resalvage it after the last DC franchise like crashed and burned. So like this had to like do well.
Yeah.
In order for that. Like if this did Black Adam numbers, if this did Aquaman 2 numbers, like we wouldn't be talking about
2 numbers, yeah.
James Gunn wouldn't be posting that teaser for Supergirl on social media. That would be canceled.
Yeah.
Like David Zaslav would be like, okay, tax write-off time.
I was just about to say, it'd be like,
yeah,
how can I write this off?
Yeah, exactly. So to me, that's the most important part. To me, it feels like we got a successful launch. Everybody's happy. There's going to be more movies. There's going to be more creative investment and, investment into this franchise going forward. And to me, that's the most important thing about these numbers.
It also importantly had a very low drop off day after day, which is kind of uncommon. Usually it's a much bigger drop off from the weekend to Monday, for example, and it wasn't that big.
It's got good reviews, not just from critics, but the audience score is high. There's good word of mouth.
And you're going to get repeat views on this, too. There's a lot of people that want to watch this more times.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You're going to get word of mouth. You're going to get repeat views. This is what Sony doesn't realize when they put out a turd like Madam Web. Like, the main reason that bombs is because it's a turd, because people are going to tell their friends, don't bother. People aren't going to repeat view that movie because it sucked. That's the difference between a success like this and a bomb like that.
Yeah, so Superman did well. Good news for DC and James Gunn and camp. So I can tell you after seeing the movie, I am really excited for Supergirl. I think more than anything else in that movie.
Sorry. I did watch like the little like stinger at the end with Supergirl. It's not much.
They nailed it so much.
They nailed it so much. She looks perfect.
Yeah.
Like that suit and like
everything. I love just her acting and her performance.
Her performance. So yeah, it's so good. I cannot wait to see her like in a full movie, like as this character.
A cosmic movie with like a Lobo.
With a Jason Momoa Lobo. That's going to be so fun.
Yeah, it's just going to be like really interesting and crazy. Our next news story is that Nintendo, I think this was just today, right?
This was announced this morning. I woke up today, I was thinking about like it's going to be like a low-key day. Donkey Kong's coming out tomorrow, so like what could Nintendo possibly announce on the day before Donkey Kong? They just drop a bomb out of nowhere like they do. They dropped a, hey, this is Miyamoto tweet. First thing in the morning, or at least first thing in the morning as far as I was concerned, because it was like there as soon as I woke up. The casting for Link and Zelda in the new Zelda film, which was interesting.
2 mostly unknowns.
Yes. I looked these people up. They have not, like, really been in much. They have theater backgrounds, which is good. They are, like, classically trained.
They've been in enough, but, like, nothing, not in significant roles.
Oh, yeah, so, no, they've been in things.
Yeah.
Like, I looked these people up on Wikipedia to, like, find out who they were, because literally I saw names, I said, who? It's like,
Bo Bragison is playing Zelda.
Yes, Bo Bragison is Zelda. Benjamin Evan Ainsworth is playing Link. Bo Bragison, I looked these up on Wikipedia as soon as it was announced. Bo Bragison is 21 years old. Benjamin is 16 years old. So they are casting pretty young for these roles, like younger than I thought they would go. I think younger than everybody else. It makes sense though. The actor, Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, he's 16 currently. He's going to be 17 this September. That's around the age of Adult Link. Adult Link isn't like in his 20s. He is canonically like between 16 to 18 years old.
Yeah.
And so is Adult Zelda. So
if it's Bo Bragison who's playing Zelda, the main credit I saw for her, she's in Renegade Nell, which was a Disney Plus original series that kind of came and went like a fart in the wind.
Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, he was in the Netflix series The Haunting of Bly Manor.
He was also in a single episode of The Sandman.
Yes. He's also the voice of Pinocchio in Disney's live-action Pinocchio remake.
Yeah, but less said about that, the better.
Which is funny because that came out opposite of it.
I was like, the voice of Pinocchio. I'm like, in the Guillermo del No.
I was like, yeah, that came out opposite of a Guillermo del Toro adaptation. Like,
that was actually good, yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I hadn't seen like any of this stuff, so I know him too. I don't know like either of these actors too well, so It's interesting. They are going for relative unknowns for these roles.
I think that's the right move.
I think that's the right move. Oh, yeah, because they don't have, like, any baggage attached to them going into this, and people can just focus on the characters.
For bigger actors, you'd want that.
Like, if
you'd want to put that for, like, Ganondorf, maybe a bigger actor, or, the Hylian King would maybe a bigger actor.
Who's a young actor now that's, like, it's, like, really famous? I'm thinking, like, Finn Wolfhard, maybe something like that.
Any of the Stranger Things guys.
Yeah, if they, like, cast, like, Finn Wolfhard, like, it'd just be, like, a bunch of Stranger Things memes, you know? So, like, you kind of want to, like, avoid that.
Yeah.
I think this works.
They should have cast Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt playing, like, a 16-year-old.
My hope is he's going to play Epona.
He is definitely Epona. I mean, it's interesting because, like, the tweet, they posted photos of the actors. These don't look like traditional headshots, glamour shots. It almost like looks like they're in costume, like on set. Like they took these on set. They're not.
They picked pictures that fit.
It's interesting because they look like they're vaguely in costume. They're in like these wooded areas. They're not traditional headshots because they're not like looking directly at the camera. You know, it's kind of like, And then if you look up like images of like these two actors, you don't find pictures like this except for like this tweet. You find more traditional headshots or pictures from the stuff they've been in.
Yeah, they just wanted to help fans be able to think of it more in the role of the
visualize
characters.
Yeah, exactly. I think, to me, Bo Braggetson, she looks like Zelda. I totally buy her as Zelda just based off this picture. Like, totally. Okay, I get it. Ainsworth, I can see it.
He's got some elven features.
I think I'm not, like, fully convinced. I have to see him.
With blonde hair?
In the role. Yeah, in the role.
You want me to Photoshop his hair blonde and give you a chance to see?
This is, hey, you know what? Congratulations to these two. This is a big movie. This is going to be a big, like, leap in their careers.
Yeah,
I mean, starring in this
Mario
movie.
made over $1 billion. I think it made $1.5 billion. I don't think Zelda will make as much as Mario. It doesn't have as wide of an audience, but it could get close to that, you know?
I think this is probably going for like a sort of family-friendly, sort of dark fantasy vibe, probably like something like Dark Crystal, like that sort of like type of fantasy. Yeah. I could see that. The real question is who's going to play Ganondorf?
Idris Elba.
Thank you.
Not even kidding. I think he'd probably be really good.
You're going to say The Rock.
No.
Pedro Pascal.
I could see Pedro Pascal as
he's in everything.
As Zelda's dad.
Oh, yeah. Pedro Pascal is Hylian King.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. This movie is still not coming out till 2027, so we still got a while to wait. But it's nice that we get to put at least like the casting of the two main leads to bed, and we can stop speculating on that now.
I'm still trying to figure out who Chris Pratt's going to play. If not Epona, maybe Tingle.
What's the guy who owns Mount, the ranch?
Oh,
the horse racing guy. Talon.
Talon, okay.
I forget which one's like the Talon. He's the dude that looks like Mario. Yeah, that's Chris Pratt. What
about Tingle?
Talon is based on Mario, so like that's Chris Pratt.
Who's gonna play Tingle though? Wait! I got it. Danny DeVito.
There you go. We cast the Zelda movie.
Yeah.
Congratulations, everyone.
They're jokes, but honestly, like I think Idris Elba would actually be probably a really good Ganondorf.
Idris Elba. He's got the chops. He can do it.
Yeah, he's got the charm. He's physically imposing, and anybody that can be in an action movie next to John Cena and look credible, because John Cena's like a giant.
Yeah, John Cena is like a huge dude.
Yeah, and Idris Elba's got like charm, he's got like a lot of charm going for him, so it's like you could see him playing a role like that where, he has to kind of deceive and charm, so, I think that would work. But who knows? We'll see what ends up happening with that.
We'll see. There's a long road. There's like a lot of roles to potentially cast aside from Ganondorf. You have like Impa. Hopefully
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Impa, I would like to see, Gwendolyn Christie as Impa.
Could work too.
Yeah.
I just think like, if I think of young Impa, she looks like Anna Taylor-Joy.
Impa's supposed to be like,
she's got the long neck and everything,
That's like Zelda's bodyguard, right?
Yeah, but if you like, in anything that she's been in, she's got like those real thin features and like that really long neck. And that makes me think Anna Taylor-Joy, because Anna Taylor-Joy has that really long, slender neck, and it's like,
oh yeah,
very distinctive. Looks wise, but that's typecasting for me.
Yeah, that is typecasting for you.
Another good one would be, what's her name? Elizabeth Debicki or something like that. She was in Guardian. She was the gold woman.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're referring to.
She's she's over 6 feet tall. I think she's like 6'3". And she's got kind of like the right features too, like the right kind of facial features and look as far as like similar to the game. Or they could go with an old Impa and that would be a completely different story.
Right.
Young Impa's like 7 feet tall and old Impa's like 3 feet tall.
Yeah, there's like such a disparity.
But yeah, moving on from the Zelda casting, let's get into the trailers. So we got a few trailers worth mentioning this week, and we're going to start off with King of the Hill. This is the reboot continuation of King of the Hill. Got Hank returning. Apparently, he was in the Middle East or something?
Yeah. So the story is like, they were in the Middle East, for a number of years, and then they come back to Arlen. After. And that's like the basic premise, the setup of this reboot.
Yeah, Bobby's an adult now. He's a fusion chef. He's doing like German, Japanese fusion dishes or something, which is just gonna, Hank being so traditionalist is gonna not be happy with. And he's got a vegan girlfriend, and we basically get a lot of Hank Hill quips,
I forgot, like, Greg Daniels co-created King of the Hill with Mike Judge.
Yep.
I forgot he was involved. So, like, when I saw his name in the new
Greg Daniels, perhaps best known as being a Saturday Night Live writer with Conan O'Brien.
Right, yeah.
He also created the American version of some show that nobody knows about.
Yeah, some show called The Office that wasn't, like, very successful.
Yeah. Oh, and your favorite Amazon Prime comedy, Upload.
I just didn't, like, get into that. I don't know.
He did Space Force, too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did Space Force, which, that was decent.
Yeah, that got canceled.
Could have been better. Yeah, that got canceled.
It looks good. I mean,
yeah, it looks good. It looks like
King of the Hill.
Yeah, it looks like a return to form. It's definitely like leaning heavily in, or at least from the trailer, it looks like it's definitely leaning heavily into like Hank Hill reacts to the modern world.
Yeah, apparently,
which hopefully
what
it
I
doesn't.
heard about is I think he's in. We said the Middle East. I think it's Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
and I think he was in like basically a American town in Saudi Arabia that was like meant just for the foreigners working in this area, and it was like a completely like Americana town where everything was American, but within these strict borders, and it was like you're basically in America within these borders. Like one of those type of areas that really do exist in the world with like,
right, yeah.
Trade. And so he was like in this like perfect version of America that was ironically not America. And now he's back in America and he's feeling
like the real America.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the big conflict at heart is that and the changes that have happened over time and stuff. So, but yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Looks like King of the Hill.
Yeah, it does. Oh, for sure. Yeah, it looks like it never left.
I think Mike Judge, more than anybody else, is really good at these reboots. Because the same thing with Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead is like a fantastic return.
He did like this really clever thing with the Beavis and Butthead reboot, where like he created old Beavis and Butthead, and so you got shorts with the classic teenage Beavis and Butthead, and he also mixes it with new shorts in which like they're old, they're middle aged. So you get like
best of both worlds.
Yeah, best of both worlds. You get like different situations from that, which is interesting. Yeah, so he's like really good at coming up with reboots.
Yeah, so I mean, this looks good. I think the weird thing is going to be that some of the voice cast has changed. Some of the actors have passed away, and other ones are replacing them. Like I know the guy who voiced Hank's dad, Cotton, is now going to be voicing Dale because the actor who played Dale passed away.
Yeah, unfortunately,
but apparently he still recorded some stuff. The old actor for Dale.
Yeah,
new show.
Yes, he did record. He did like start recording for this show like before he passed away.
So there's going to be like a weird handoff at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Don't know when that is, but yeah.
In the trailer, I think the guy voicing Dale is the guy who voiced Cotton, the new actor who's voicing him. Because he sounded different. He sounded, similar but different, He sounded like somebody doing a Dale impersonation, but not like Dale, actually. So that might be a little bit weird. We also had the recent passing of the guy who played John Redcorn, but I don't think he was supposed to be involved in the project anyway. So I
don't know like the stats. That was extremely tragic.
Yeah, a hate crime.
Yeah, it was extremely tragic hate crime. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's going to be really interesting to see this. I don't think I never like loved King of the Hill. It wasn't like something like South Park where I was like tuning in every week right on time.
King of the Hill is
but it's the kind of thing I would put on because it reran constantly, and I would just watch the reruns.
I watch like a lot of King of the Hill. It's interesting because it's easy to dismiss as like, oh, this low key comedy, but like if you watch it and if you like
smart.
Pay attention to it, like it's very clever. It's very different like style of comedy from like Judge than like Beavis and Butthead, where like they really like hit you over the head with the comedy. This is like kind of like, oh yeah, you have to watch this and you have to pay attention to it, you know, because it's very situational. It's very much about this Ersatz conservative guy just like responding to all the stuff around him that makes him uncomfortable. And that's where like the humor in King of the Hill, a lot of it comes from.
Yeah. Like I said, for me, for King of the Hill, it was never appointment viewing for me. It wasn't like, oh, there's a new episode coming out on Sunday. It was more like, I'll just watch like 10 episodes in a row when it's in syndication.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I would leave King of the Hill on and just watch for hours, but it was just like random reruns in syndication. More for me. Like, then I would be doing that while like new episodes were coming out, but I wasn't watching the new episodes. I was really just only watching in syndication. So this will be kind of like my first time since like the very first episodes where I'm like tuning in as it's new, you know, as it's like a new show.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Next we got a trailer for Butterfly. This is a kind of espionage-esque action series coming to Amazon Prime starring Jin from Lost.
Yeah, Jin. It's like apparently he plays a spy who they thought was dead, but he wasn't dead. He had disappeared for a while because he was trapped on an island.
Just to be fair, Daniel Day Kim is the actor's name.
Yeah.
I shouldn't just call him Jin all the time, but he'll always be Jin to me.
No, yeah.
But yeah, he's kind of a wet work agent guy or something. He disappears, faked his death or something, I think, and then he ends up resurfacing to his daughter, who thought he was dead too, who is now trained as an agent, and then him resurfacing is causing all sorts of drama where they're afraid of, you know, government secrets and other stuff getting out, and so now they're like hunting them both down, I guess. And it's like an action family show. It looks pretty decent. I think it looks good. There's a lot of espionage type shows like this now, though. So many.
Oh, yeah.
But it looks like a good one. So it's also interesting that they're taking more of an angle with like Korea and that kind of angle in the story. It's usually all of these espionage things are like British guys or like white Americans. Occasionally like a black couple or something in these type of espionage. Like I don't think we've seen any of them with like Korea as like the setting and like Korean characters and stuff. I think that alone is like just adds a different kind of context to things that makes it interesting in a different way.
Oh, absolutely. It looks fun.
Next, we got a trailer for a movie within a movie. This
Yes.
is really a trailer for Mortal Kombat 2, but it's actually presented as a trailer for a Johnny Cage movie.
Yeah, because the big thing with Mortal Kombat 2 is the introduction of Johnny Cage to the film series, which they teased at the end of the first film.
Who is being played by?
Yep, he is being played by
Billy Butcher.
Yeah, Billy Butcher, yeah.
We're just going to use character names instead of actor names.
Yeah, that sounds fine, yeah. Yeah, he's being played by Carl Urban. Carl Urban is playing Johnny Cage, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then this trailer came out, and yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. Carl Urban's gonna kill it in this role, I think.
He looks so different without his beard.
He does,
He's gotten older, so I was like, when I heard he was cast as Luke Cage, I was like, I wasn't seeing it. Like, cause I've seen Carl Urban when he was younger, and he did look like that, you know?
If you watch like Star Trek, you know, like.
Yeah, or if you've watched like, you know, Lord of the Rings, he was in, you know, or like.
Yeah, he was in Lord of the Rings. It's easy to forget that.
Yeah, it's like you see him in things like that, and it's like, yeah, I could see him playing that character. But then, like, if you're used to The Boys, it's like hard to picture him in that role, but he's fresh shaved and he looks like he used to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he's looking like he's having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, playing like a very corny version of Johnny Cage, which looks like spot on.
And they're introducing him with a very corny.
They even added in a splits kick.
Yeah, splits kick. Yeah, Johnny Cage doing the splits. Yes, I mean that is like mandatory. So I wonder when they came to Carl Urban and like, okay, you're going to have to do the splits for this role. Or maybe they CG'd it.
Stunt double or something, yeah.
Stunt double, yeah. But yeah, no, looking forward to it. The last movie was fun. It wasn't like a perfect movie or anything.
I still haven't seen that. I need to watch that before I watch this.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's got our buddy in it too.
Hiroyuki Sanada as Scorpion. Yeah.
Yeah, that alone should be reason to watch it. I've heard good things, but that alone is Sonata's.
My biggest complaint is,
enough.
there's no tournament in the first movie. There's a lot of talk about a tournament and all this. It doesn't happen. Assumably, it's happening in this movie.
That'd be like the only reason for Johnny Cage to be involved.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Like, he's not involved in any of the behind-the-scenes squabbles and other shit that goes on, so it wouldn't make sense for him to be there unless the tournament was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'm excited for that. I just need to watch the first one. Then lastly, we got a trailer for Season 5, the final season, in 3 parts, of course, because it's Netflix, of Stranger Things.
Yeah,
it's called a teaser.
Happily, they're not stretching it out too long. It's only the course of 2 months.
It's late November to the first day of January.
Actually, they said that the finale lands on December 31st.
So New Year's Eve, okay. So
yeah, New Year's Eve, yeah. So not quite. So it's late November for the first part, and then exactly 1 month later around Christmas for the second part, and then the third part, the finale episode on the 31st.
Yeah, just the last episode in the third part. So
yes. I think it's going to be a long episode. I think it's going to be it's supposed to be feature length. So
they said several of the episodes this season are going to be feature length. So
yeah. I think they're separating out the last episode by itself means it's going to be long.
It's like a fucking Peter Jackson director's cut. It's 4 episodes,
the Lord
4
of the
hours
Rings
long.
trilogy. Yeah.
It's 4.5 hours long.
It's
got 10 endings.
This is longer than the first 2 parts of the season. Why is this its own episode?
Why are there 10 endings like Return of the King?
Yeah, it's interesting. It looks like humanity's kind of dealing with the aftermath of the ending to the last season. They're
Hawkins completely military controlled.
Yeah, Hawkins is under military control. Everybody's hunkered down.
There's some kind of thing going on with a radio station and some kind of a thing with a decibel reader, because there's a decibel thing that's going up. It goes up to 100 decibel sound for anybody who doesn't know.
Which they might be using to detect the energy coming from the upside down. Maybe?
Yeah, something like that. But decibels is a measure of volume and sound for anybody who doesn't know.
So they're listening for something, right?
Yeah. And I like the way they use the decibel going up throughout the trailer and using it it gets to 100 and there's Vecna.
Yes.
It's I like the way they put that together in the trailer. It's things are amping up, literally amping up, you know?
I knew going into a trailer Vecna was going to be in the trailer. That was not a surprise, but it's cool the way they did that.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. There's you see some more demodogs, which we haven't really seen since season 2?
Yeah, season 2. When poor Bilbo Baggins got eaten.
Yeah, Sean Astin.
That was sad.
Yeah, Bob was his name in that show.
Yeah, Bob, yeah.
He wasn't Bilbo Baggins, he was Samwise.
He was Samwise, yeah, that's right, Samwise. Yeah, Bilbo was the other dude.
The OnScreen podcast, where the hosts are senile and...
I got so much I have to have in my head at one time. I can't have everything in my head, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying we're both there.
Yeah, we're both there, yeah, exactly. He was one of those damn hobbits, I was close.
But yeah, it looks good. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything different. I think season 4 was a big step up in quality, I think. Season 2 and 3 were, I liked all of Stranger Things, but season 2 had some issues. Season 3 had some issues.
Yeah,
season 4 was this big improvement.
Yeah, season 4 was when I felt okay, they're coming back hard. And then season 5 really impressed me with Vecna was a great villain. Actually introduced
That's season 4. Season 5 is the one that's coming up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Season 3. No, I like season 3. Season 3 with the mall.
Yeah. It was still good.
I thought that was good.
I think season 4 was a big step up from
season 4 was a big step up because they introduced Vecna. They introduced a villain that actually has agency, and it's not just a mindless monster from the upside down.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the best thing they did.
Yeah, definitely. To me, that made it a marketable improvement. Plus, the use of music improved drastically in season 4. I think over the other seasons, it was always good, but it stepped it up so much so that there were 2 major songs featured in that were from the early 80s that both ended up going back on the Billboard charts.
Oh yeah.
So number 1, 2 different songs from the 80s went back on the Billboard charts because of Stranger Things season 4.
Yeah. And it really helped Joseph Quinn's career.
Oh yeah, it made his career.
hasn't done anything for anybody else on that show, but Joseph Quinn's been like getting major movie roles.
Finn Wolfhard's doing okay.
Finn Wolfhard's doing okay.
He's doing a lot of indie stuff mostly, but that's choice, you know?
Yeah, that's choice. Joe Keery, he got to be in the last season of Fargo.
Yeah. He's got a music career too, so he's got some other things going on.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah.
And Millie Bobby Brown's got she made that contract with Netflix, and now she basically just does whatever she wants and gets millions from Netflix.
Yeah, she does. She makes mostly terrible Netflix movies, but yeah.
She just does it. She's got the Adam Sandler deal. She just does whatever she wants and Netflix pays her.
Yeah, which is a good cushy deal.
Yeah, I think the Enola Holmes movies are actually pretty good. That's
I heard
Henry
those were
Cavill plays Sherlock Holmes in those.
Oh, those were good. Yeah,
but yeah, so there's some people that have had some success, and like I said, Finn Wolfhard I think would be huge if he wasn't doing mostly indie stuff.
Yeah,
that's a choice. It's like Daniel Radcliffe. It's like the way Daniel Radcliffe went from Harry Potter and just did a bunch of smaller stuff, you know?
Yeah, because Daniel Radcliffe could have easily gone from Harry Potter to being starring in all these big franchise films. Yeah, he just wants to do these quirky independent films.
Yeah, I think Finn Wolfhard's kind of the same area. He did the new Ghostbusters movies, which are big, but besides that, he's kind of mostly done. And he was in It too, you know?
Yeah, he was in It, yeah.
Well, It won.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna be in
TOO. It as well.
Yeah, no, obviously he was in it too, because that's about those characters as adults. So.
Yeah, but he was in It, and he was in Ghostbusters, but then he's also done he's been putting out I don't know, 2-3 movies a year basically, but a lot of them are indie or smaller movies and stuff, and that's a choice, and he's directed too, so. He had his directorial debut that hell of a summer, which was, okay. And he's going to be doing Idle Hands, remember? So that's interesting. But yeah, Stranger Things, season 5, looking good, can't wait. And I'm sure we'll discuss it. Unless it's just it just bothers us so much, we hate it so much that we're just I don't even want to talk about it.
Right.
But I don't find that likely.
I don't think it's likely at all.
That is it for our On Beat segment, and now we're moving on to our final segment, full spoilers. This week on Full Spoilers, we are talking about Sinners. This is the movie from Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther and the Creed movies. And yeah, it's kind of him trying to make his own mark and establish his own voice. And he decided to make a vampire movie very much in the vein of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yeah,
a clear influence on it.
It's a very clear influence because it's got that structure where it doesn't start out as a supernatural movie. Mm-hmm. There's the mention of it at the beginning, vague mention of it. The movie begins with the myth of the person who's gifted in music, mm-hmm. and how that calls spirits of ancestors past and future, but it also attracts evil. That's the only mention, and then you get a pretty straightforward drama about this young boy with a musical gift and these two brothers who he happens to be their cousin. They're trying to build themselves, a business. They're trying to build themselves a bar,
like a nightclub kind of thing.
Like a nightclub, yeah, where they can have music, and sell drinks, have people hang out and mainly hang out and spend money. That's their dream. That's what they're there to do. And it's mostly about that and about them. The brothers had come back to, I think it's Alabama.
They're in the South somewhere.
In the South somewhere. I think it's Alabama. I'm just going to say that for my sanity's sake. They've been in Chicago. They've been running with the gangs
with
in
Al Capone.
Chicago, with Al Capone, yeah. They've been involved in all of that. They're coming from Chicago to their home so that they could build up this business. They could build up their life there. They've made enough money from what they were doing to where they have the freedom to do this now. Is essentially the starting point. And the kid who's the singer, he's the son of a preacher who doesn't approve. His name is Sammy. The brothers are Smoke and Stack. They're twins. They're both played by Michael B. Jordan in this film, by the way. So mm-hmm. Michael B. Jordan in a dual role.
Yeah, putting his charisma on display. Michael B. Jordan has fantastic charisma.
Sammy, he's the son of a preacher man who doesn't approve of his music playing. Smoke and Stack basically recruit him because they know how talented he is and they want him to be the main musical attraction for the opening night of their nightclub. Mm-hmm. Is basically why they bring him along. along the way, Smoke and Stack reunite with people that they knew when they lived there. You know, they reunite with Mary, who's Haley Steinfeld's character.
That is Stack's old girlfriend.
Okay, that's Stack's old girlfriend. Annie is
played by Wunmi Musaka, who was in Lovecraft Country, and she was also in Loki.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
And Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
Playing her same character.
Playing the same character for Loki. She Smoke's girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
Or, seems like more than that. They had, a child together that passed away.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I don't know if they were ever married.
I don't know. It doesn't, clarify.
But it was more than just a boyfriend-girlfriend thing.
Right. They were, involved.
Yeah.
Right. And she is the one, she believes in, the supernatural.
She's a hoodoo practitioner.
Yes.
Is what they say.
She made, a Smoke, a protection, a little, amulet of protection, a little baggie with, stuff in it that he's wearing around his neck that she says it protects him. Smoke, for his part, doesn't believe any of that. Smoke and Stack are pretty cynical people. They've been places.
They're opportunistic criminals, and they kind of believe in making their own luck and making their own destiny.
Yes. And so that's the crux of the film for, most of, the initial runtime, is this. It's not until, after they get their bar up and running for the first night that the supernatural stuff, comes into it.
Yeah. I want to bring up another point about it, but I'll do that later. But we get to the supernatural stuff. It's vampires. That's, I think everybody kind of knows that even before they see it. It's in the trailer. It's even when you just hear the description, they're not hiding it. It's vampires, and there's one vampire in particular. He's an Irish vampire named Remick, played by Jack O'Connell, who was in the second series of Skins, which was a British show that, Nicholas Hoult was in the first season, or the first cast of Skins, by the way. So, connection there. But, yeah, so he's this Irish vampire. Mm-hmm. We get introduced to him. He's being chased by the Choctaw Native Americans.
Yes.
Who,
they know
chasing him for some reason. He escapes, ends up finding this Klan couple, the Ku Klux Klan couple.
I think it's implied that the Choctaw knows what he is, who he is. They clocked him, so.
He shows up to his house, banging on their door. These two Klan members, this couple, let him in, kind of reluctantly, and then the Indians come around, the Native Americans come around, and being Klan's people, they kick them out. They don't let them go there, and the Choctaw are like, you guys gotta be careful. You don't know what you're dealing with. And they're like, yeah, whatever. The wife goes back in, and her husband's already turned.
Yeah, her husband's already turned. And then she's turned. And that's how we get our initial set of vampires, the Irish vampire turns these clans. But it's interesting because, it all comes around because Smoke and Stack got their barn where they're holding their nightclub business. They got their barn from, this businessman from Alabama, Hogwood, who turns out is a grand wizard of the KKK. And their plan was the morning after they're going to show up, they're going to kill them and basically shut down their business, right? The KKK is going to roll up and kill them.
Which again, it's very reminiscent of From Dusk Till Dawn, where it has this element of danger set up in the beginning. They get to the location, vampire stuff happens, and then afterwards it goes back to what was happening before.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of structurally.
It's interesting because Remick, the vampire, he basically tells them he knew of that plan. He basically says, oh yeah, well, we turned them, they're gonna come and mess you up, but we turned them. They're part of our brother, and he keeps telling it as you're becoming part of a unified brotherhood.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to sell it as it's not a bad thing to die and become a vampire. It's a good thing because you're going to be with this fellowship, with this brotherhood who won't discriminate against you.
You'll be eternal. We share everything.
Yeah.
And you'll live forever, and you'll be above this, and
they're
powerful.
These humans, they discriminate against you all day, every day. But if you become one of us, we won't discriminate. We don't discriminate. That's what he's trying to sell them.
Yeah, it's an interesting take because it makes you go, maybe they would be better off if they just all became vampires.
Right,
instead of being just black humans in the Jim Crow South. But I think what's really interesting about the way they tell this story is that the rejection of that isn't just because, oh no, the vampires, that's unnatural or something. That's not all there is to to it, there's this like parallel to like cultural appropriation that's going on.
Yeah.
And the idea of like, oh, you become a vampire and then your stories are my stories too, kind of thing. Like, you know, and it's like this idea of is becoming part of a collective,
like
even if it gets you away from racism, but then by doing that, are you giving up your own culture?
Right, yeah. Are you giving up your own identity to be part of this homogenized culture? You're escaping bigotry, but like you're giving up your own culture, your own soul in the process, basically. So it's a trade-off. It's basically, you know, what the vampires, you know, what Remick wants isn't anything good. He's selling them a bill of false goods. Well, he's being deceitful.
I don't know how much of it is false and how much of it is that it's another bad option. Like it's,
right.
But I don't know if he, I don't think he's conning them. He's like, he's legitimately offering them like equality amongst to be part of his family and all that stuff. Like he doesn't discriminate against them. I think that that's legitimate. So it's not so much a con as it is. It's like cultural appropriation is what it is. That's like what this movie's kind of a parallel to.
Right, yeah.
It's like the idea of like, oh, some guy might be like offering you a really good deal and they might actually like care about what you do and like your culture and everything. But by going in that direction, you're giving that up without even realizing it. That's kind of what it's paralleling in a sense.
And so basically, what ends up happening is, obviously, like, everything goes sideways. Like, at first, Smoke and Stack don't trust these people for good reason. They turn them away. They have a bouncer out there. They're not black. They specifically set up this club for their own people to have a place, you know, for their own. So obviously these are outsiders. They're not black. Nobody knows them. You know, they don't have anybody to vouch for them. Like, so they're like obviously not allowed in. Then I think it's Smoke. Which one? Smoke or Stack has like a discussion with Mary.
It's
you know, and
Stack.
Stack. They're talking about finances. And Stack is saying, they're
Smoke
going
is
over
more cautious and Stack is a bit more impulsive.
But he's saying like they're going over the financials, you know, of what they're making. They're realizing most of the people coming in there only have like these tokens that they get from working the fields. From you know, like these tokens are like good at the local stores, but they're not money. You know, and they're realizing that most of the people coming in only have these tokens to spend. They're starting to realize that this isn't going to be as profitable of a venture as they had hoped it would be. They're looking at like a financial shortfall, and Stack is like relaying these concerns to Mary, and Mary is the one who decides like, oh, she's going to talk to these people. You know, they could probably help her in some way, you know, with maybe like convincing to like pay people money or whatever instead of tokens. I'm not sure.
Well, he thinks that they have actual money versus like these tokens. These aren't black people. The idea is black people are being paid in these tokens instead of money because white people can get away with doing that, you know?
Right.
But these are white people, so they're going to have actual money and that's going to be more beneficial to them. So that's like what they decide to do. And so she goes out to like basically welcome them back because they're still kind of just hanging out outside playing folk music.
Playing folk music. Yeah. So she goes up to them. That's when she gets turned. You don't see it on screen. What's interesting is about this movie, it's a classic creature feature where a lot of the stuff that happens off screen, it's implied, which I think is one of the best things you can do when you're creating tension or a narrative, you know, because you know what these people are already. You know, like she was around them unprotected. We cut away and then we cut to her going back to the bar, and so
you see the guy jump in the air behind her. Yeah, you see
behind her, and then like the next scene, she's going back to the bar like she's normal, like nothing happened. And you're kind of like, okay, something definitely happened.
So, and she also asked to be invited in.
Yes.
Which they really played with. Like that's the one vampire trope I think more than any other that they really played with in this movie was the idea of like having to be invited in.
It's a narrative trick, because you have to, like, give these characters, like, a way to, like, tell, you know, who is and who isn't, you know, right?
That something's up, you know,
I have to get something to tip off that something's up. She turns Stack, and things just go bonkers from there. And it just leads, like, there's this really tense standoff between the survivors in the barn and the vampires outside, which have, by the way, turned into a pretty large army of vampires because most of the people who were there partying, they evacuated initially, got turned.
Yeah.
So
then it's just a huge group of them outside.
Yes.
And then it's this last stand kind of thing in the bar.
It's like in the bar, like tensions start flaring, like paranoia sets in. It all like goes to crap, pretty much.
We should explain the motivations of Remick. Why he's so set on getting these people. Why he's like hanging out outside this bar and waiting to turn these people. He could
it's
have
Sammy.
Yeah. So there's a scene that is the most iconic scene in the movie. Yeah. I kind of wasn't too much of a fan of it. I liked the idea of what they were going for. I just didn't really like how it turned out as much.
Yeah, some of it turned out like it's a little cheesy.
Yeah. I really liked the idea of it. I just didn't like the way it came together.
It's a celebration of black music, right?
Well, the idea is that it's like, and it's what they talked about at the beginning of the movie, which was at the very beginning of the movie, they talked about somebody whose soul is so strong when they sing that it pierces the veil of the living.
But that's just the narrative excuse for the scene. The scene is they're celebrating. The scene is like a celebration of the history of black music.
But it's not just that, because there was also the Asian figures and stuff that represented the heritage of the Asian characters that were there. But it's just the idea of of just like that kind of cultural, historical value and how it all ties together through time. And basically the idea of the scene is he's like piercing the veil, basically. Not just for the living and the dead, but like through time. And opening up all this stuff. And this brings Remick because although you could look at it as just like a representation of like, oh, this is just a feeling and we're just seeing this symbolically as a feeling. They
tell you up front. That's what the narrative, like exposition at the beginning of the movie is to tell you. It's like there are special people with the gift of music that when they play, they summon spirits around them and they also summon evil things, evil creatures. Mm-hmm. Remick is that evil creature that's attracted to his music.
Yeah. He comes there, he specifically says that he wants Sammy so that they can share his music so that he can find his lost people, is I think how he refers to it. So that's kind of the crux of the movie is all based on this. It's a hodgepodge of many different things, but a lot of it comes back to like preserving black identity and
honestly,
cultural
it's
appropriation. Like the vampires are basically represent cultural appropriation.
Honestly, it's one of the best vampire movies I've seen in ages. To be honest, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
the way they build tension, the way the movie is contained. It's so good. The vampires are terrifying. It's got like all the elements of like the classic horror films. The Thing, it's got the element of that when they're making like everybody eat a clove of garlic to prove that they're still human.
Yeah. It's very much, to me though, what's more impressive than it as a vampire movie is it's a movie about music. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what really spoke to me even more than the movie, that the fact that the vampires are kind of like a metaphor for cultural appropriation in regards to the music and how that kind of came together without feeling too forced or cheesy or off. It fits. It works.
Right. But yeah, that's basically my take on the film, so.
Yeah. And then what I really loved is the post-credit scene, the first post-credit scene. The second post-credit scene is just a performance. That's all it is.
It's just a performance. It's a good performance, yeah, but you're not getting a story or lore.
Yeah.
But
the second post-credit scene takes place in the 90s.
Yeah, we see Sammy is an old man, and he's a very famous blues artist.
He's being played by Buddy Guy, who is a legitimate, very, very famous blues artist.
Yes. So Sammy has been able to make a very successful career as a blues artist, and he's playing the show, and as he finishes, he goes to the bar, and in walks Stack and Mary, who had been turned to vampires. And the thing is, like we thought at least, Stack was killed. We thought Smoke killed Stack. I don't think we ever saw, I think we just saw Mary, run off, and that was, the last we saw of her.
Yeah. And we saw Smoke had Stack pinned down, but we didn't see him actually do anything.
Yeah.
It was just the assumption was that he killed him.
And of course, they're still young because they're vampires, And Stack basically has a conversation with Sammy, where
he offers him immortality.
He offers him immortality. That's what he's there to do. Sammy turns it down. Sammy does not want his immortality. He basically tells him Stack respects that. Then they kind of reminisce on the day of the events. And specifically, they reminisce on the stuff before everything turned to shit.
Yeah. That there was like the best day of their lives for like both of them.
For both of them, yes.
For Stack, because that was like the last time he saw a sunrise and the last
time he saw his brother.
Yeah. And for Sammy, it was just being kind of accepted. He was like, his father was a preacher and he was like working in the fields and he wasn't really able to do anything with his music. And this was, Smoke and Stack were the first two people that kind of like believed in him as a musician. And so it was like being able to express that. And it's kind of a coming of age story for Sammy in a sense, like the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, even he has a sexual relationship with Proline and that was like hinted at even before then where Stack was giving him advice on how to perform, Right. And like all that stuff kind of played together and it's like, okay, this was like his key coming of age moment was this night before everything went to shit. And I like the way they did it as this very respectful thing that Stack he turned him down and Stack was like, okay.
Stack also reveals to Sammy that Smoke let him live if he promised to leave Sammy alone and let Sammy live out his life, become an old man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason Smoke didn't kill Stack. Because Stack made that promise, and even as a vampire, Stack kept his promise.
Yeah, I really dug that. I dug that aspect of it, because it kind of, it's hinted at already in the movie, even before that scene, but it kind of recontextualizes the whole thing about vampires being bad, or vampires being these bad things that, that they're trying to survive this vampire thing, and makes it more like, no, they're still them, and they're still it's just kind of, it gives this new context to everything that happened.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's new context. It's like they still have their own agency, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not possessed, in the traditional way and they kind of point that out too, in the middle of the narrative, because Annie, initially she calls them one type of creature, I forgot what they're called, but basically she explains that basically they inhabit dead bodies and they replace the original soul with them, so they're not the person coming back. And then halfway through she realizes they're vampires, and vampires are not that type of creature. Like Annie describes it as with vampires, the person's soul is their soul, it gets stuck in the body, it can't move on to the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
The way Annie describes it.
Which was a thing too, because Annie made Smoke promise to kill her if she was going to be turned, and he does, because she is. She isn't turned, but she's about to be turned. She's bitten, she's going to turn.
And you see when Smoke kills Annie, when she's about to be turned, you see Mary and Stack. Mary screams out, "You killed her." Which was the proof that they're not lying about this idea that vampirism is a new life.
That's the difference between
they
this
believe
and
it.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Is that, and From Dusk Till Dawn, the vampires, they just want to eat.
Right, yeah.
And here they legitimately want to turn all of their friends to get them out of the hell of their current lives.
Right,
They legitimately want to help with that. And I think what's interesting, the way they parallel that, the reason they made what Smoke did and what Annie wanted Smoke to do, the way they made that make sense, that as a reason not to do it, is because they had had a child together, and that child had passed away. And if they were vampires, that's it for their souls.
Yes.
So they'll never see their child
Annie's
again.
Point of view, if she's a vampire, her soul can't move on.
And she could never see her child again, yeah.
Yeah.
And they played with that at the end, because after the vampires are gone and everything, Smoke takes out the KKK.
Yeah, he kills the Ku Klux Klan thanks to the tip-off from Remick.
A very cool scene.
Yes.
He wipes them out, and then as he's dying, because he gets a single stray shot basically hits him in the side.
It hits him in the abdomen.
And it doesn't kill him right away, but it's slowly killing him. And
it hits him in the abdomen, so it's a fatal shot. He's not coming back from that.
Yeah,
but
it's a fatal shot that he's conscious
death.
and able to move still.
Right, yeah.
And he envisions Annie and their child. And he's kind of having this moment, and then as that's happening, the Ku Klux Klan guy Hogwood's still kind of sitting there, and he's mowing and stuff, and Smoke's
just unloads into him.
Yeah, just unloads. Just shut the fuck, you're ruining my moment,
Right, yeah, exactly. Get the F out of here.
Yeah, I really liked that parallel, because it made it more
really
interesting
cool,
that, because they basically, what they did is they presented an argument saying maybe you'd be better off being vampires, and then they presented a counter argument, which was like, well, if you have people that have passed that you cared about, you'll never see them again. So it's like, what side do you want to take there? You know, do you want to go to heaven and meet with the people that you've lost, or do you want to live forever?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I dug that. I dug that they made it like not so clear cut, like what was the right choice and what was the wrong choice, you know? So that is Sinners, and it's on HBO Max. If you haven't watched it already, you can watch it there. And it's making Ryan Coogler a ton of money, and he's going to regain the rights. An unprecedented deal for a director to kind of regain the rights to their own property. That's very cool. It's hopefully going to...
Very awesome, yeah.
Hopefully going to inspire some future deals for other directors as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's going to be good to see.
So yeah, it's kind of like, I think the deal he had is interesting because it thematically ties to the movie itself. Because the movie's like I kept saying, the movie's about cultural appropriation. And what better message for that is for the director to regain the rights to their movie over time, to the culture that they made.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's Sinners. And that's it for our show. So thank you everybody for listening. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Tyson Gifford. You can follow Will. He is at VoxelHero. You can check out our website at thetotaliscreen.com. If you go to our website and open up a container store for any of our podcast episodes and scroll down to the bottom paragraph, you'll find links to all of our social accounts, a SoundCloud page, our RSS feed for the podcast. Everything's there. You can also subscribe to the podcast for your favorite podcast find of choice, like Apple Podcast or Pocket Cast, and the entire backlog of our podcast, as well as additional content, is available on our YouTube channel. So you can check that out as well. Until next week, when we are going to be talking about the Switch 2 again. We're doing second impressions for the Switch 2, mainly focusing on Donkey Kong Bonanza, which, as we're talking, is basically releasing. We'll be talking about that game and other Switch 2, our second impressions of the Switch 2, because we already did our first impressions next week, so stay tuned for that. Thank you everybody for listening. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for listening to the OnScreen podcast, the official podcast of The Total Screen. Visit our website at thetotalscreen.com. This podcast can be found on any major podcast client, including Pocket Cast and Apple Podcast. The entire backlog of this podcast and other content can be found on our YouTube channel.